Yeah, welcome back. So next is what? Correlation. Parameterization means passing the test data. Correlation in the sense a little bit different. Say sometimes server will generate some data. I discussed it. Sometimes you see here also, if you observe, here we need to enter. But here this data from where it is coming? It is coming from server. Right? If I want to handle this, for that purpose we'll use the correlation. To understand why we need to do the correlation, I'll give you an example. Let us take the example. Let us say this parameterization, right? Let me remove this. Okay. So let us assume in place of this, I'll put 1. Let us assume you are working on a banking application. Let us say it's a HDFC or some application. Let me take this. Hold on, system. Memory is getting full. Hold on. Let us say this is your net banking. Okay. You logged into your net banking. You are trying to do some fund transfer or something. So we all know every application they have some servers, right? So let us say there is another. There are multiple servers are there. Let us say there is one server. So when you enter, those requests goes to server. We all know this. Now you are working on this. All of a sudden you got a call, and you just leave your laptop idle for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes you realize that you already logged in and you did not log out, and you forgot to log also. Sometimes happens, right? You are working, suddenly you got a call and you just left it as it is. You already logged in, you are actually doing the fund transfer, in the middle you are there. Then after 10 minutes you came back and click any button, what happens? You're following, right? When you open any bank application, right?
It's logged out automatically.
Yes, it will log out, right? So what is the message you will get when it log out?
Session ended.
Very good. Right? It says session expired, right? And it will ask you to log in again. So why do you think it says that, like, session expired? Because of security reason, right? If this security is not built, you just leave your laptop, you forgot to log out, and someone else can easily, they can misuse, right? They can transfer all the amount to their account. There is a possibility. Or they'll take a snapshot or something, they can take and do some kind of fraud. So for security reason, they have implemented this uh, what you call the session or whatever. So you need to understand how this works. So normally when any user log into the bank application or any secure application like insurance, it could be any application which needs to be secure. Nowadays every application, even retail also implementing the same thing. Whenever you log in, we'll use some browser, right? So let us say from browser you logged in, right? When you just log in, your server, it will create something called session ID. It would be like some very long multi-digit character. Normally it would be very long, okay? what it does is this ID, it will assign it to your browser. This will, it is created by server, it will assign it to browser. Now every time you are clicking on the application, like you are doing working something, it will, every request that goes to server, right? So every time it will try to compare both. On server it is on my side, and from client side I'm getting this one. If both are equal, then it says this is passed. So it will allow normally. So it will check both. Sorry. If both are equal, right, then it says the status is passed. It happens at the background, we don't see this. Okay, so it says it will, this is allowed. Where is my mouse? Yeah. It says both are equal, it will pass. Now what happens is, you left for some time, right? So there is something called, there is some time limit for this. Okay, what is the time limit? That is called session time into time. So by default your server will allocate some time. So 120 seconds is the by default time. Session time normally 120 seconds. Yeah. So 120 seconds is a time limit. That means what? If I don't touch anything on the application for 120 seconds, this session will automatically gets expired. Okay. If I, as long as I'm connecting with the application, or I'm clicking on a button, I'm working, typing something, even 1 hour also there is no problem. But if I just leave the application idle, I don't touch anything for more than 120 seconds, it will trigger alert to the server saying that something going wrong. What it does is, it will expire the current session ID, it will create a new session ID. Simply it will create some other session ID. So this time it could be something else, some alphanumeric value it will create. Okay, some number, some alphanumeric number it will create. It is how it is designed. Okay, it's just keep on checking 120 seconds happened or not. Since last 120 seconds the user did not touch any button, simply it will expire. Now you came back after 10 minutes, right? On your system you have the same old session ID. Now you click any button, again this will go to the server only. Okay, so now when it goes to the server, now this time it will check the both are not okay, right? So both are not okay. What it does, simply it will send a wrong message saying that session timed out. It will not allow first of all. Then you will get this message called session expired. So this is for security reason. Okay, now how this is related to Loadrunner now. So normally using Loadrunner, what we are trying to do, you have created a script, right? When you create a script, I create with single user, right? When I run my script, your server thinks that all the requests which are coming, right? All these requests which are coming, they are coming from actually from browser, because these are all called proxy. Your Loadrunner will behave as a browser. So your server thinks that actually the requests are coming from browser, and it will check these requests. It will think that it's coming from a browser to the server. Now on the server already, in your script you will have a old session ID. Okay. Now when I replay my script, your server will generate new session ID. Then your script will fail, because in my script I have old, but server is creating new. So both are not equal, right? So it will throw error. For example, if you see, when you create a script, in the script we'll see anyway, there will be some IDs passing like session ID or some kind of IDs. So this is already correlated. Flight booking, right? So how to do this anyway, we'll see. See, for example, we see there will be some IDs passing here. Not this one. Yeah, if we observe this is kind of session at some ID, right? So when we create a script will record this ID, let us say. But when you run this ID, the same ID will be passed to the server. But server thinks that every time you run, it is keep on creating a new ID. So in my script, I have some old ID, okay, and some ID is there. But when you run your script, your server is creating new ID. Then your script will fail because it won't allow, right? Both are different. Then what is the solution? Simple. Whenever your server is generating new ID, just copy that and replace in your script. Simple. Now both are equal, right? It will pass. Second time it changes something else. Copy that, paste in your script. So this concept is called what? Correlation. So how do you define correlation? It's the concept of capturing the dynamic values from server side and replace in the script. So what you are trying to do, I am capturing from the server side and replacing the script to make sure script works without any error, right? Otherwise it will fail, right? Works without errors for multiple users iterations. This is called the definition of correlation. Parameterization definition is what? Passing the static test data. So the same thing, using Loadrunner I can create multiple users, right? So you are not the only one, right, in real time. So each user will have different session IDs. This will be different, this session ID would be different, something, right? All these things will be generated by the server. So for each user we will capture and replace in the script. This concept is called what? Correlation. Now what is the difference between correlation and parameterization? In parameterization you enter the test data, but in correlation you capture from the server. You don't enter, it is already generated by the server. Here you need to just capture, you need to copy and place in your Loadrunner script. This concept is called what? Correlation. So without correlation you cannot complete your script because server always generates some dynamic values. Okay, normally this is only about, I'm talking about session ID, but if you are working on different applications, say if you are working on a insurance application, so there will be some IDs like authentication token is one, security token, okay, or CSRF token. These are all security tokens. Every time your server will be generating every time you log in. It will generate some token, some ID. If it's a insurance, it can be like client ID. Okay, these are all dynamic values generated by the server. So these things actually we need to capture from the server and replace in your script. This should be passing in your script. If there is nothing passing, you don't need to worry. If it is passing, then only we need to do the correlation, right? If it is not in your script, you don't need to worry. But in the script, if it is passing the some dynamic value like security ID or session ID, or it can be any ID, then you have to do this correlation. How to do that we'll see. But you need to understand the difference between parameterization, correlation. In parameterization, you send the value. Okay. In correlation, server will generate. You capture from the server side and replace in the script. This is the basic difference between parameterization and correlation. How to do anyway we'll see. Don't need to worry about that. Now the next thing is checkpoints. So in Loadrunner you need to insert the checkpoints. I already explained, right? So when you create this sheet document, there is a column for test data and checkpoint. So what is this checkpoint? To make sure that your script is working as per the expectation, like validating my script. So when I create script, your script looks like this. So you don't know which page is this, right? When I launch, for each action you have to give the transaction name, right? So that transaction name you have here. What do you call start transaction? This one. Yeah, this one, transaction name, right? So it says this is the launch, but when I run, do I see that launch page displayed or not? How do I know? By looking in the script, you don't understand, right? So that's the reason why we'll put some checkpoints saying that when you run this script or when the home page is loaded, I want to see this text should be appeared on that page, right? So when I say this is my home page, on the home page you will see this text. So I'll take this as my checkpoint. So when you run your Loadrunner script, it will search this text in the response. Like this is the response network. This is a response, you can see. For each request you have a response. This is a response. Here it will search with this text. Okay. Welcome to if it is found means correct page only displayed. If it is not found means something wrong. Then you can cross check why it is failed. Maybe the application is down or the script is not properly working. Those things we need to do. So we have functions for that. So Loadrunner will take care. You just need to insert the function. So that is called checkpoint. How to do this anyway we'll see. Next is rend EVS point. This is very important, rend EVS point. See, rend EVS point in the sense, so we here you are testing with multiple users, right? Let us say this is a login continue button, right? So there are some users you are testing 1000 or 500 users. Now your client says that at a time all the 100 users are hitting this continue button at the same time. So all these users hit the button at the same time without any time interval. Now I want to check whether do you think my server can sustain or not. That point is called rendevious. So let me remove this. Let's say this is a bank, right? Bank application. There is a button, submit button. Now here I have some server. Let us say I want to know the capacity of the server. But here what I want to do is at a time I want to check with 500 users or some number of users. But all the users should hit the button at the same time. Right? Now when all the people, when they hit the button, do you think my server can, all the people are clicking on this submit button at the same time? Let us assume. This point is called rendevious point. Practically it is not possible. If I want to test 100 people, ask 100 people to hit the button at the same time, there will be some time difference, right? So when all the people are hitting, so do you think the CPU can sustain this or not? One by one enters, then there is no problem. Say for example, to understand this, I'll play a small video. Devious. Yeah. Let us assume there is a gate, is a college gate. Okay. Now normally everyone pushes the gate and they'll enter. So student one by one, they'll come and push and enter. Okay. So some student 1 comes, he opens the door and goes. Then next one by one, if they enter, there is nothing problem here, right? After one by one, because the gate is good only. Now there is a watchman. He want to test the strongness of this gate. So when he asks one by one to enter, there is no problem. See, single person will come and push the gate, it will open, he will enter, right? Then next person will come, he'll push, he'll enter. There is no problem. But now they want to test the strongness of this gate. So then what he does is, he'll ask all the students, just stand in front of the gate one by one, like he line up like around 50, or how long is the gate? Let us assume 50 people. And he'll say that just stand in front of the gate. When he says 1, 2, 3, all the people should push the gate at the same time. Okay. Now he calls everyone and says 1, 2, 3. What happens if the gate is weak? It will fall down, right? Or it will be broken. That is what rendevious point is. As long as single person log into your application or clicking any button, your server looks good only. But at a time, all the people, like if there are 500 or 1000 people, they hit the button at the same time. If your server is weak, what happens? It will crash. Now, in reality, where do you think this will happen? Say, for example, you take the case of IRCTC. Right, in IRCTC, it's we have the population of 100 crores, right? 1.4 billion. So as per the survey, In India, more than 80 crores or 90 crores they have. Now it is 100 crores they have phones, right? Mobile phones. So now IRCTC, I want to book the ticket. So at least every day 10% of the total population are traveling through train, right? So that means what? Out of 140 crores, let 15 to let us say 30 crores they are traveling. Now out of them, let us take 10%. They are trying to book the ticket through online or through mobile. 10% out of 30 crores, 10% means what? 3 crores, right? So out of these 3 crores, just take the 10%. 10% means what? 30 lakhs. These 30 lakhs people may be trying to book on the same day, right? So there is a possibility out of 30 lakhs trying to book, there may be at least take 10%. 1 or 2 lakh people may hit the button at the same time. Practically it is possible when you have such a huge population. At least 50,000 or 1 lakh people may be hitting the button at the same time, because we have only in 1 hour you have 3600 seconds, right? But the people are lakhs. So in the same second there is a possibility of making same actions. So now what happens? These 1 lakh people are hitting the button at the same time. If your server is weak, it will crash, right? So before happening that, how do I make sure that whether my system or my server is strong enough? Because already I have spent money on that. Now I cannot go back. So I have already spent. So I want to check the capacity of my server. Now how do I test? I cannot test manually. Can I ask? If I ask 1 lakh people to hit the button, I have to hire 1 lakh people, right? Or even if I have 1,000 people in my company, if I ask all the 1,000 people to hit the button at the same time, it is impossible. Okay, but Loadrunner it will do. So what Loadrunner will do, it will just play as this person, this guy, this watchman. It will draw a line where it will Loadrunner will make sure that each user will come and wait here. Second user will come and wait here. I just need to give the number. 500 means 500 people will come and wait, and when the last person comes, it will hit all the users at the same time. This point where this all the users are standing, right? This point is called rendevious point, where this person is coming and standing here. No, this one. This point is called rendevious point. Comes here, stands. Next one will come, wait. He is waiting for the other guy. This is waiting for other guy. When last guy comes, all people will hit at the same time. This point is called rendevious point. It is very important in performance testing. Practically, manually, no one can do this. Since Loadrunner is a machine, it can do this. It can hit all. If I can put this number, just this one. I just need to put a number saying that, see, if I run with this Loadrunner, or there is a function, simply I need to put rendevious point here and give the number. So if I put here 100, so it will create 100 users, and it will, this point, there is something called rendevious point. It will ask them to wait. There is a line will be there, something like this. There is a line like this. So one user comes, he'll wait here, wait here, wait here, like that. Once the 100 user will come, it will release the gate. So all 100 users will hit at the same time. So this is called rendevious point. Okay, so what do you mean by rendevious point? I'll write the definition also. spelling also important. The spelling is RENDZ. It's called RENDVS. So as a definition, how do I define this? The point at which all the users perform the same action at the same time without any time interval. Right? So what do you mean by RENDVS point? A point at which all the users perform the same action at the same time. It can be clicking a button, link, anything, submitting, any action. But they need to perform the same action at the same time without any time interval. So that to evaluate your server is strong or not. If it is failed before actually failing in production, we are failing in test environment. If your server crashes in test environment, nothing happens, right? You will buy another server. But the same server crashes in production, there will be a lot of issues. All the data will be lost, right? And the image, everything will lost. People, it's a bad reputation to them, right? So before doing that, they'll test this in your test environment. And if your test is successful, then they can release the product. When they'll do normally, when they'll do festival seasons, like they're discounting, retail applications are like they're giving 90% of discount, something like that, right? In that there is a possibility that few hundreds or even thousands or lakhs of people may be trying to buy at the same time, because in a day you have only 24 hours. When they give offer, maybe they'll limit this offer only for 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, something like that, right? So on a particular day, you have only 24 hours, but if millions of people, there is a possibility same time, they will try to book. Same thing with IRCTC. In festival season, the crowd will be more, right? Who wants to book the tickets? So before happening this only, they will test in their test environment with 3 to 2 times. If they're expecting 1 lakh, they'll test with 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs for any unexpected issues. And if your server is crashing, they'll increase the capacity. Simple. They'll add one more server or one more CPU. Then again they'll test. That is also failing. Then add one more. Like that, they'll increase the strength of the servers. So this is called what? A RENDVS point. When we'll see how to do this when we do the scripting. Okay. Only this concept you need to understand. Let me share this. Okay, I think the session is getting in. So the next thing is what is in our next? After RENDVS, there is something called SLA.